Good. Welcome back from your break. I hope that you did something good with it or something nice with it. Now we're going to be going to the next section. It's called section 3. It's monitoring and evaluating team members. Now we need to constantly be making sure that people are performing well. If they're not pulling their weight, if they're not contributing to the team targets, well, then we need to be able to coach them or to help them or to guide them or to get rid of them, but we need to monitor and make sure that they are actually contributing in the way that you want them to contribute. The reason for this is on the left hand side. At the beginning, the business wants to make goals. So let's say they want to increase their turnover by 5%. Those goals lead to objectives. So they're going to have smaller objectives to get to the big goal. So we need to change our marketing strategy. We need to change our sales strategy to achieve a 5% growth. Then you've got standards. Okay. So now each salesperson needs to visit 5 different clients every single day in order to achieve the objectives, in order to achieve the goals. Then we need to look at the priorities. So certain tasks will be prioritized over other tasks because they're going to lead to the goals. Then we're going to take those priorities and we make them into key tasks. So those are the things that if they do it properly, okay, if they visit 5 new shops every single week, that will lead to a new priority of breaking into new markets, which will lead to new standards, which will lead to objectives, which will lead to the goals being achieved. So all of that links back to your key tasks. Okay. Now, your performance standards, again, should be measurable. So they don't say do your job better. They say we want to 20% increase within this year. That's measurable. Attainable. If 20% increase is not attainable, then you're going to demotivate your people. If it is understandable, if they understand exactly how to achieve it, then that's great. Observable, okay, so we need to be able to see in their sales data that they've increased by 20% or in their production records. It needs to be observed. We need to be able to measure it. Then it needs to be communicated. So everyone needs to know what the key performance index is. Okay, so we don't just arrive one day in our boss's office. We've always known what our performance targets were, and then required or necessary for the job. So don't say, we expect your offices to be cleaned every month, because maybe your job is that it's on the road. So, how on earth is that necessary for my job? So, don't give me performance indexes that don't relate back to me. Okay. So, it has to be required and necessary for the job. All of these feed into something called performance reviews. Now, when you work in a corporate office, you know that every year or every 6 months or every 3 months, you go and sit with your manager and you discuss your key performance indexes and you discuss the targets so that we know that we are on track. If I'm not doing well, I know it because I have spent time with my manager and I've also known my performance standards up front. The performance review will help me to get what I need in order to better my behavior or my goals, or otherwise it will tell me that I've done a good job and I need to be acknowledged for that and recognized for that. So those are performance reviews and what they are used for. All right. Now, how do we express the performance standards? So it could be quantities. Okay, so how many? So, part of my job is to enroll 30 people per day. That's a quantity. Quality, 95% of documents are submitted without revision. So, in other words, I submit something, it doesn't have to be edited. 95% of my work is done properly every single time. So, that's my quality. Timeliness, okay, all orders have to be done within 5 days of receipt. Now I know within 5 days these things have to be done. So I got timeliness. Effective use of resources, okay. The computer handbook project will be completed with only the internal resources. So I know that I'm not going to buy anything from the outside, that I've only got what I've got in order to fulfill the target that I've been given. Okay, effects of effort. Establish inventory levels for storerooms so that supplies are maintained 100% of the time. So again, I've got to measure about the effects of my effort. Then manner of performance. Okay, so I need to assist other employees in the work unit to accomplish assignments. So if I've done my work, then I need to be guiding, supervising, mentoring. It's called a manner of performance. And then there should be a method of performing assignments. So according to a checklist or according to a process or according to a standard operating procedure. So those are the things that we need to be making sure that are expressed in our performance standards. Okay. Formative section 3.1. Consider the importance of keeping employees informed about their performance. Think of performance feedback that is given in your office or your workplace. Okay, think about those times where you sit with your manager and that you are given performance feedback. Discuss whether or not the performance feedback is sufficient and often enough. Okay, so do you get enough feedback and do you get it often enough to make sure that you are doing a good job? Give reasons and examples to support your observations. So you're going to be talking about performance feedback, how often it's done, is it sufficient, do you need more of it? And you're going to talk about your experiences of getting feedback within your host organization. All right, so you can start that, and then the next one is your summative section. So I'm going to get out of the way again. Okay, put me up there. Okay, so using the job profile of a team member from your workplace. So go to your manager and ask for a team member profile. Complete the table below, clearly formulating the performance standards of their responsibilities. The performance standards should be in relation to your business goals, objectives, and deliverables. Attach the job profile to this document. So take the job profile that you have received, attach it to this portfolio of evidence, but now I want you to fill in this table. So let's take a look at this table. Okay, so we can get to summative assessment and you'll see that there is a table over there. So you put in the job title. Okay, so what is that person's job title? What are their responsibilities? What are their performance standards? And how does it relate to your business goals? So if the responsibility is to increase market share, the performance standards is that he has to visit 5 new potential clients every week. How does this relate to your business goals? Well, we want to increase our turnover by 5%. So the responsibilities speak to the performance standards, speak to your business goals. Okay. Then once you've done that, okay, I want you to sit with one of your friends or one of your colleagues or one of your buddies back at the workplace, either through WhatsApp, through voice notes, or even face to face if that's where we are. And I want you to tell them about that job profile. Okay, so the performance standards that link to responsibilities link to the goals. And then the person who you've explained that to and you've given them the form, they are going to fill in this section. Okay, so were the performance standards clear, concise, and specific to the activities being performed? If not, how could it be improved? And then in a real life situation, would these standards get your buy in? And then the learner puts their name in. Okay, the team puts their name in, and you guys date it. All right. So that's what your next task is. You've got your formative, spend 10 minutes on that, 20 minutes on your summative. And then once you can get to a friend or a buddy or a fellow learner, then they are going to do your feedback session. Okay. And then they're going to do page 10, fill it in, sign it, make sure that everyone signs it. Okay, so I'm going to give you guys half an hour. So give yourself half an hour. Put that in your watch. Put that in your alarm, and then come back to the next video once you're finished with that half an hour.